Doesn't this whole story about the ship where Hantavirus was discovered seem full of unanswered questions and inconsistencies? The first question is, how exactly did the medical staff on board determine that it was specifically Hantavirus? Did they really just happen to have all the necessary equipment and chemicals with them to carry out that kind of testing and analysis? The second question is, where had the liner been before this cruise? Wasn't it operating regular trips before that? As far as I know, cruise ships like this don't sit idle in port for long. They usually go from one voyage straight to the next. So if the infection really came from mice, why did people only get infected on this particular trip and not earlier? Or were those mice deliberately brought on board specifically for this voyage? That naturally leads people to consider the possibility of some kind of conspiracy. And yes, it opens the door to the idea that something may have been done intentionally, although I want to stress that this is only one possible theory. It's probably not a coincidence that many people in the comments under the news reports are calling the ship a research vessel rather than a cruise ship. The third question is even more interesting. We're being told that the virus found on the ship was Hantavirus, specifically the Andes strain, which, although supposedly only through very close contact, can still spread from person to person. Coincidence? Why this particular strain? And if that's true, then how did the virus spread from the infected airline passenger to another passenger sitting a row away from her? They weren't hugging each other or drinking from the same cup. The whole story feels suspiciously stitched together, doesn't it? Which naturally leads to yet another theory. If the virus spreads this easily and this quickly, then maybe the Andes strain of Hantavirus was modified in some laboratory, and infected mice were deliberately released onto the passenger liner, which then carried the virus across multiple countries, exactly as intended. If that's true, then the situation looks very alarming. But what would be the purpose behind it? To distract the public from other problems? To trigger another pandemic and make billions from vaccines all over again? We may never know. What's truly tragic, however, is that the victims in all of this are innocent, ordinary people, people with families, dreams and plans for their future. And who knows how many more victims there could still be. Let's hope all of these theories are wrong, and that what happened really was nothing more than a terrible coincidence and an unfortunate chain of events. Who knows? Now for the latest updates. At the moment, the liner has arrived in Tenerife. The first 14 passengers, all Spanish citizens, have already been allowed to disembark. They will then be transferred to a hospital in Madrid for quarantine. As for the remaining passengers, they will be taken ashore as special flights arrive from their home countries to transport them back for medical examination and treatment. In total, passengers from 23 different countries were on board. Meanwhile, a map allegedly showing the global spread of the virus has already begun circulating online.